Hello everyone and welcome. Now that I have enough free firewood to achieve a full cord of firewood, I'll show you where I'm at as far as splitting and stacking the firewood. Firewood I got left to split and stack, and the tools that I use to achieve the full cord of firewood, as well as the costs associated with going and getting the free firewood. Over here behind the smoker, I've got a full face cord over here, and this is cherry, oak, and ash. And over here I have a full face cord of white oak and red oak. And then I still have these big cherry rounds. And I'm on the fence about cutting these up because I like cherry wood, make some really good projects out of it. And these logs are about 36 inches long, 24 inches long. And some of them are, 13, 14 inches in diameter. The small one right here, I probably will go ahead and cut up and make firewood out of it. Then over here I've got all this white oak, and as you can see, this one's about 3.5 feet long, that one's about 4 feet long, 3 feet long. Then I've got some other ones that are about 2 feet long. Then I've got some big pecan rounds, and then another white oak round. And if I take all of this wood, including the cherry, and cut it up, that'll give me my full cord of firewood that I'm looking for. All right, so that's where I'm at, is what I've got cut and split, and what I've got left to cut, split, and stack. Now we'll get into the tools that I use to get all this wood. My first piece of equipment is, of course, my chainsaw. This is a Salem Master Pro 5820G chainsaw. It means it's a 58cc chainsaw with an 18-inch bar. And looking at the invoice before I started this video, I paid like $133 and some change for it over a year ago. All the free firewood I got, the trees were already cut down. I just had to go and cut them up. And the first couple of loads were in some really bad spots. And this chainsaw performed great, which just goes to show you that you don't have to have a Gigabuck, Stihl, or Husqvarna chainsaw to get free firewood. Next up, my tool bucket. That's right, it's a cat litter bucket. But this is what I use when I go to various places to carry all my stuff in. So first, of course, you got your mixed gas, bar and chain oil, my homemade picaroon. Next up is my axe or hatchet, whichever one you want to call it. And I say that because this is a small axe. It's like 24 inches long. And it's, a Craftsman axe that's made probably like in the 70s. I actually inherited this from my uncle. And the reason why I like carrying a small axe rather than my big full-size axe is just for portability reasons. It's a lot easier to stick it in the bucket, carry it around. And because some of the areas where I was cutting, it was kind of treacherous, if you will, and I didn't really feel like swinging a full-size axe. Got a ratchet strap, and I also carry a set of hand trucks with me when I go get free firewood. Got my chainsaw sharpening kit. Got another file just in case. Some rope, and this is about 25 feet of rope. A small folding saw, and the reason why I carry the small folding saw is that when I first went to cut free firewood, I had my chainsaw get stuck and I had absolutely no way of getting it out. But in my bug out kit in the back of my truck, I had this folding saw, and there was just enough room for me to get the blade underneath there and saw underneath and let the log just break on through so I could get my chainsaw out. Ever since then, I keep it in my bucket. I've got my tool kit for my chainsaw, which carries, of course, the adjustment screwdriver for the high and the low side, the 3-in-1 tool for both the spark plug, the bar nuts, and the adjustment, a pair of gloves, funnel, a couple of cheap plastic wedges, a couple of rags, and a pair of pliers. So that's everything in my cat litter chainsaw cutting bucket. The only two things I didn't show was, of course, the hand trucks and my pickup truck. Now, it is my belief, and again, just my opinion, that every man who owns a home should have a pickup truck or something along that line. And even if you don't have a pickup truck, you could still do something like this with an SUV or something along that line. Just might take you a few more trips. So now on to the cost. I already had all my tools and my chainsaw before I began this endeavor. The only thing as far as tool-wise that I bought was a chainsaw sharpening kit. My only other expense was gas for the truck, chainsaw, 2-cycle oil, which I already had, but I still count that as a cost because I was using it, and bar oil. The first 3 loads of firewood I got were like 10 miles round trip from my house, and the last load that I ended up getting was something like 60 miles round trip from my house. Now I figure I used a full tank of gas to get all this firewood, and that includes the gas for the chainsaw, including that in the full tank. And my truck has a 30-gallon tank, and when I was doing this, gas was $3, a gallon. So you figure, 3 times 30 is 90 bucks. I spent 90 bucks just in gas, and the 2-cycle oil I already had, but it's, $4 or $5 for a small bottle of it. And I figure I used 2 bottles of bar oil. So here's the secret to get bar oil cheap, because normally it's like $8, for a quart of it. At the end of summer, a lot of the big box stores put all of their like weed eaters, chainsaws, and stuff like that on clearance, as well as chainsaw accessories, including, chains, wedges, and bar oil. So a bottle of bar oil that may cost, $6, $8, I actually got it for $2.50 a bottle, and I picked up like 10 bottles of it, and I still got some in the barn. So that's how I get my bar oil for cheap. So if you add it all up, you got the $90 for gas, and a few dollars here and there for 2-cycle oil, and the bar oil, you're looking at right at $100 even. Now here in Alabama, a face cord of firewood runs anywhere from $90 to $110, and I've got 3 full face cords. So you're looking at a total, if you got this delivered, anywhere from $270 to $330. So I did all of it for $100. So I figure I came out to the good on that. All right, so as far as time-wise, I spent an hour to an hour and a half on each trip, and that's from the time I got there to the time I left. That didn't include any drive time. So the big question is, was it worth it? And to me, it was. Now I work a 40-hour work week, and sometimes 1, maybe 2 weeks out of that month, I may be out of state or all the way across the country. And I was still able to do this in like a 2-week time frame, just kind of working after work and when I could get to it. Didn't work on the weekends or anything like that because I didn't want to bother anybody who was giving me the free firewood. Which just goes to show you that anybody could do this. You don't have to have big fancy chainsaws, big fancy log splitters, things of that nature. Look at me, just a redneck with a pickup truck. And even if you don't have a pickup truck, you could use an SUV to do this. Just might take you a few more trips. Now, going and getting this free firewood was a lot of fun. I got to meet a couple of new people, things of that nature, and it turned out to be more fun than I actually anticipated, but it was also a lot of work. So there's my little spiel on getting free firewood. So thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time.